Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody tonight? All right. I'm really excited to talk to you guys tonight. I think it's perfect timing for this topic when Chelsea and I were talking and she asked me to speak in here, which I am honored to do. So thank you guys for taking the time to listen in. And just spend a Wednesday night with me. Very much appreciate it. So Chelsea and I were talking, and I think it's in the air where, some of us have started the business a while ago, and maybe the freshness or newness of the business has worn off. So we're wavering in our commitment or the words that we had said that we were going to do when we first started this business or signed up for this business. And now when the going gets tough, we're really asking ourselves, am I interested or am I committed, right? So the question of the night is, are you interested or are you committed? And both of them are okay. Both of them are fine. You can be someone who signed up for, potentially the discount and want to use the product yourself. And maybe you want to sell a lipstick here to a moisturizer. Totally fine. Not everyone has to be here to build $1 million business. But maybe some of you are over here thinking, I want that business. I want that car. I want that freedom. I want, whatever it may be. And then you're going to have to put in the hustle to get there. So let me back up a little bit and let you guys know that I am Brittany Baumgartner. Right now, I am a countess, and our team for the seminar year is around $600,000, which is pretty crazy. I started back in January and earned my car in April. So now I drive a Senna car. I have a, what's it called? A Jeep Overland. Yeah, that's what it's called. So I have my Senna blue car downstairs, and I work this business on the side. So I used to call it my side hustle until I went to an amazing training in Dallas where they really someone had mentioned that I don't call it my side hustle because I truthfully work it as much as I work a job or a business, which is 100% true for how I'm committed to my business, right? I definitely treat this as another job, and it is almost become a full-time job. So to set expectations and be realistic with you guys, I probably do spend a good 5 hours a day, maybe, on my business. I want to be real with you guys because I don't want to paint the impression that a $600,000 team just happens. But I also want you to know that it's completely possible if you're willing to be committed and to hustle it out, right? So I probably, on any given day, I spend no less than an hour on my business. That's pretty much the bare minimum, except for the days that I take completely off. So I give myself 1 day a week where I'm fully present with my family. So I learned that lesson because I had previously run a business on social media and online with another network marketing business, and I gave up that business to move into this business. So a lot of the lessons I had learned from my previous business and moved into this one. So if I can give you one word of advice, if you're committed and you want to hustle this business and make something out of it, take a day to not work your business, right? Give yourself a weekend day or a weekend in your business. If that's a Tuesday to you, because you and your husband or boyfriend or whatever spend that weekday watching a show that you really love, then take that day off, whatever it is. Mine typically is a Saturday. And then now that football's on, my boyfriend's watching football, which means I get to work my business more, which, just to point that out, these two, I didn't even write that down, but to be committed is going to require sacrifice, right? So I definitely, sacrifice is part of the hustle. Sacrifice is part of building someone's full-time income basically on the side, right? So I make as much as my mom makes in teaching after teaching for 45 years from my lipstick business. And I still work a full-time job, probably 10-hour days, and I work for a Forbes Fortune top 3 company. in the entire world. So to say I work a lot is an understatement, right? And to say sorry, someone just messaged something. To say I don't have a lot of stress from that business is an understatement too, right? So it's not that I am not working, it's that I have learned to strategically use my time wisely. And to Chelsea's question, I will get to that. What do I do during those workouts? I'll definitely get to that, and that's a point I make, is using your time strategically. Because most of us are in this business, have other things going on, right? Most of us have children that we're raising. Most of us have a job, if not 2 extra jobs, family to take care of, lots of things going on, right? So you're going to have to be strategic if you want to be committed and want to see the results. So to finish out my story, I work full time. I have a boyfriend. I have a dog who's super high maintenance, and I love him to death. You can feel free to follow me on social media. Be more than happy to have you guys as friends and followers. And then I like wine a lot, and dogs, and what else do I like a lot? Shopping, I guess. Shopping online, which I've sacrificed a lot from this business too. So lots of fun stuff. So I'm going to start with a quote to put it into perspective, because I saw this quote today, and I love when quotes have perfect timing. Don't you love that? The quote is, "The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack in will." Right? This business isn't difficult, really. It's a simple business. It just requires some heart and some hustle behind it, right? You got to have the heart, to know why you're here, and you got to be willing to put in the work. It's just not going to just happen. None of us who have thriving businesses just fell into it. There's no such thing, right? You have to work to make it happen. So working this business is tough. It's going to push your limits. It's going to push your boundaries. It's going to push your limits mentally. So you guys, personal development, I just moved my stack into the kitchen, or else I'd have a stack for you here. Personal development is by far the #1 success tip I can give you. By far. Like, we could stop here, because I think a lot of people's minds get in their way of even starting their business, right? So some people sign up and say they want to do something, but they never even begin to do it because the fear holds them back. Personal development will help you push through that wall to start. A lot of people start, and then the going gets tough, and they realize they're going to have to leave their comfort zone, so they start pulling back. And personal development is going to help you with that. Depending on what you are struggling with, please reach out to your sponsor. They can help you find, and if they don't know, they'll go up the chain. They can help you find a book that relates to what you need to work on. Is it self-confidence? Is it leaving your comfort zone? Is it not caring about what people have to say about you? Is it your networking skills, your people skills? There's a lot of skills that we can evolve and learn in this business. Everything in this business is learnable, and personal development will mentally help you get there, right? So that could be my first tip, and I could just leave it off right there. So #1, you guys already know this. You should know this. What's your why, right? When the going gets tough, heck, even when the going doesn't get tough, because tough doesn't get going when you first sign up and you never start, right? So many people sign up and never start. So if you guys don't think I don't have people who sign up on my team of over 100 people that signed up and never got started, 3 of them just got removed from my system today because they hit their 6 months of not ordering any product. And guess what? They never ordered any product, right? So no one's immune to having those people join their team, and no one's immune to sponsoring those people and trying to help move them along and do what they say they wanted to do. But at the end of the day, no one can make you do something that you don't want to do, right? You're in control of your destiny. You're in control of your gloss boss status. You are in control of your business. And I think that's what can overwhelm some people sometimes, is that the fact that no one's going to hold your hand, right? Because there's an amazing motto, work with the willing, and any good leader will know that motto, because at the end of the day, if we try to work with those who really aren't willing to work or put in the effort or shut up the excuses or just freaking do it already, then we're holding ourselves back. And if I'm willing to work, if I'm willing to hustle, if I'm willing to do all those things, I seriously don't have time to work with the people who are holding me back. They're like shackles, they're like chains. And the same goes for anyone else in this business. So work with the willing. You can only help someone so much. So to those who have sponsored someone who isn't working, you feel really bad because they told you all these amazing things they wanted to do with this business. At a certain point, if you have reached out a certain amount of times, if you have offered your services, tagged them in the documents, kept trying to inspire them, there's only so much you can do. Eventually that, saying bless and release comes into play. And you're allowed to bless and release, right? Because you can't hold them all, right? Sometimes you just gotta let bygones be bygones. So, to know your why are you here? So I started this business to make an extra $500 a month. That's the result I wanted. Basically, I'm asking you, why did you start? Most people have a result they want, but then the why is like the background of it. So I started because I wanted $500 a month so that I could supplement the income from my other business that I was going to lose, because I relied on that stuff to pay anything beyond bills, right? So my corporate salary pays my bills, my 6 figures of student loan debt, all kinds of stuff. But what it doesn't give me is the freedom to buy something if I want it, right? I can't just buy some new sweaters for this fall, right? That wasn't in the budget. I couldn't go out to a dinner with friends and girlfriends without freaking out that someone else is ordering an extra cocktail and I'm going to have to split the cost, right? You're like, no, don't do that. Because you don't want to be that person who's like, oh, split the cost, but yours is $10 more, right? No one wants to be that girl. So I just wanted a little bit of freedom in my budget for $500. But honestly, behind that is more of I want a sense of security around money. I want to pay off my student loan debt, which I'm never going to feel secure with money until that debt is gone because I feel shackled to it, right? So if you start peeling away the layers of onion, I don't think I have the book in here. What? Get Over Your Damn Self does a really good job of this, and she's telling you to peel away that onion, and find out why you're really here, because it's not rooted in money. I can almost tell you that. It's not rooted in money. Money might be the result that you want from it, but it's to cure or solve your feelings internally, right? From probably past experiences, because I never want to be in debt because of what I've witnessed my parents go through, right? So there's lots of reasons. So I strongly urge you, if there's one thing you take away from this call, let's dive into personal development, which Get Over Your Damn Self, the book itself, is personal development. And inside of it, she's literally going to ask you to define your why. Define your why. Because if you define your why and it's really true to you, when you ask yourself interested or committed, you're not going to be able to choose anything besides committed. Because you're going to look at that and you're going to get emotional, and then you're going to tell yourself interest ain't going to solve this, right? I'm not going to get there by interest. I'm going to get there through commitment, right? So define your why. If you need to, work with your sponsor. Your sponsor's probably done it herself. If she's building a thriving business, chances are she has drilled down far enough to figure out what her why is. And that's why she continues to grow it out through the pain points, right? You are willing to do things you never thought you'd be willing to do when you realize what your why is and why you are here. So that is your gut check. Have you been acting interested or committed? And what does your why motivate you or inspire you to do? To take up your level of commitment? I hope so. To take it up, right? Take it up a notch. Put in some extra time, wake up a little extra early. Say no to something so you can say yes to this business, right? There's lots of saying no to opportunities or fun things that you could be doing, because guess what? This is not going to build itself. Someone's going to have to do it. And it's going to happen with consistency every single day. So here are some thoughts of, what I think you can do to ease the burden, because I think a lot of people don't get started or stay in that interest period because they're not sure what to do to take it to the next level, right? You're kind of paralyzed in fear or what next or what if. So first off, reach out to your sponsor because they should be able to help you with that. They'll start you from the beginning. So show up daily. Consistency. I mean, you've heard it before. You're going to hear it again. I mean, let's be real. Anything I'm telling you tonight is not rocket science, right? It just is. It's the facts. It's the same business. So it's just a matter of something hitting you at the right time to inspire you to take action, which is why I'm constantly listening to Audible, because something hits you every single day, even if you're not even in the mood for it. And that's the best kind of personal development. So show up daily. Drives me insane when people say they want this business, but then they don't show up. They don't show up. Do you guys realize how freaking easy it is to post on social media? Like, holy crap. Join some of your Senna Sisters groups. Join their groups and join their online shops so that when they post something really good on a day you are literally brain dead and so chaotic and things are like, coffee's spilling out of a coffee pot and then, the dog just got into the trash, whatever it may be, that you can just post content because it takes a minute to make a post on social media. So if you don't show up, shame on you. You don't have to show up with like, oh my gosh, the most novel idea ever or the best demo or all this information, but show up because every time you don't show up, you're falling further and further and further away from the memory of those you want to sell and attract to your business. So show up daily. Make no excuses. There is no excuse for that. There literally is none. You can post while going to the bathroom. So just do it, okay? That drives me absolutely bananas. Be realistic of your workload and setting expectations. So like I mentioned, I work a lot during the work week. So Chelsea knows that I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to work my business. Did your jaw just hit the floor? Yeah, 4:30 in the morning. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to work my business before the world wakes up, basically. I used to wake up, if I wake up at 6, here's the logic, you guys. If I wake up at 6, that's the hour I need to wake up in order to just get to work on time. Like, that's the time I have to get up, walk the dog, like have my coffee, walk the dog, do my work, like check into a few things, do my workout, run and wake Jacob because he's not a morning person at all, jump into the shower, pack our lunches, all that morning stuff. If I don't do that, if I don't wake up by 6, then I'm not going to get to work on time. So 6 is the bare minimum. I used to do 5, but I found by the time I got up, checked the notifications from the night before, I wasn't starting to get to work, right? This is the difference between putting in work and putting in real work. And then I'd have 40 minutes of work time, but then the world starts to wake up and it's a little bit harder for me to do something because then people start messaging me or notifications start popping up. So when I was listening to The Miracle Morning, which is a personal development book, and I was like, I'm already a morning person. This is going to be easy. Basically, I moved my wake up time to 5 o'clock, and then I was like, okay, that's not enough time. I need that 4:30 to 5 to be able to, make my coffee, check all my notifications, make my to-do list for the day, and then get to work so that I truly have an hour of work, right? Work where by the end of that hour, I've accomplished my day. You guys, I've done the whole thing, because when you're strategic with your time, you get so much more done. Because there are so many of us, and I'm guilty of it too, like raise your hand, like give me a little girl with the raised hand in the comments. If you have felt like you have worked all day long or worked on your business so much today, but at the end of the day, you're like, I got nothing done. Who's been there? Who's worked so much, but they have nothing to show for it or got nothing done at the end of the day? Hello, guilty. done it a million times, felt like I was in a hamster wheel, right? That drives me crazy. I just want to feel like I got something done, so I'm moving moving forward with my business instead of being in this like hysteria all freaking day long, which is how I feel if I don't get up early and get stuff done. So here's one of my success tips is exactly. I see all of you guys. You're like, totally me, totally me. I mean, from the minute you wake up, it's like bing, boom, bing, boom. Blessing and a curse of a social media business, right? It's handy and it's right here, but it's right here and it's constant and it's all the time. No one even sleeps anymore because I have all kinds of friends with kids that they're, up breastfeeding at 3 a.m. So your business kind of never sleeps too, right? So here's one of my success tips and why I love my planner, which I actually have this next to me in my office. So I started 2 years ago using the Day Designer. And while this is expensive and pricey, I think with shipping it's like $60 or something like that. I'm obsessed with it because, let me show you. All right. Okay, well, all these have something written on the day. Here we go. It has right here your top 3's to-do list. So I love the fact that it's hourly. So it's an hourly through the day. It has the date and has a quote and blah, blah, blah. But right here, it has a top 3 to-do list. Basically, assign yourself 3 tasks for that day that must get done or else. Like, right? There's a ramification for it. So today on my list was to have my boyfriend and I, well, Blingsley's making a guest appearance, but in barking and not cuteness. You can still kind of hear him. So basically, if you don't get those 3 things done, there's ramifications. So Jake and I got on the phone and signed up for the TSA pre-check, right? So we want that because we're going to be traveling so much with Synergens, because we're going to Costa Rica. So I got on the phone and did that with him. And then there's other things, but basically assign yourself 3 tasks that must get done or don't go to bed, basically. But that can ensure you're moving your business every day, right? You're going to move your business every day because it's 3 things. You can do 3 things. And when I say 3 things, you might start out by saying my 3 things are posting in my shop, like the basics. But I really want you to move beyond that because posting in your shop is not like a to-do. That's like a duh. Like that should happen anyways. So that shouldn't be a to-do thing. It should be, I already did that. I'm talking about potentially you could be sending someone new distributor information and making an email and sending it to them because they requested information, right? That's an action item that you have to do. Maybe you have to look into vendor shows in your area. So you're going to tell yourself you're going to spend 30 minutes on that activity, right? So whatever it is, you have 3 things that you need to get done. You're not going to accomplish the world. You're not going to, solve the out of stock issue. You're not going to do any of that. You're just going to do 3 things every single day. Oh my gosh. When you do that and you wake up at 4:30. So I usually accomplish that to-do list. If not all 3, I usually accomplish 2 of the 3 by the time 6 o'clock rolls around. So I feel ownership of my day the entire day. And then at night, if I achieve anything beyond that when I come home, making dinner and cleaning it up and whatnot, then I feel like a super mega awesome rock star. And usually I do finish something at the night, but then I don't feel guilty if I don't. My business continues to move because I get it done right away. Y'all know this. If you don't get it done early, and you're just going to have to accept this. For those people who don't like waking up, you're just going to have to realize if you're going to be a gloss boss and you're going to have a thriving business, morning is when it's going to happen because something always happens at night, right? I'm exhausted. I'm tired. The kid's sick. Hubby's going to do this. Just get it done. You'll thank me. That's being strategic with your time is your to-do list of 3. Be realistic of your workload and setting expectations. And I think this is a tough one. I also have written down here, you are your only competition. So being realistic with your workload is, I know I am not going to accomplish the same amount when I hustle really hard and I try really hard that someone who doesn't work a 9 to 5 is, right? I'm just not. Because my main chunk of time, let's be honest, 8 or 9 hour workday plus 2 hours commuting, right? I'm not going to accomplish what they would have had 9 hours to do. So I can't set my expectations to be at that person's level when I'm hustling. I mean, I'm not saying use this as an excuse saying like, I don't have as much time as her, but you didn't do anything. No, I hustle, but I just can't hustle as much as her, right? So setting those expectations. What is your workload today, this week, this month? Knowing what your calendar is and where you can work and when you need to give yourself some grace to be able to back up a little bit. Be realistic with your workload. If the weekends are super crazy because you have a family of 3 kids and the hubby's home and you're always running around, then realize maybe you need 2 days off on the weekends, but you need to put in that time somewhere else, right? So time is a big reason people stay in that interested phase or that hobby phase, because taking it to the next level is going to require some time sacrifice, some early mornings, and really just being strategic and not just willy-nilly and doing this when you feel like it, but doing it every single day. Another question for you. Are you letting your comfort zone hold you back? Chances are yes. Chances are most people are letting their comfort zone hold them back. So they're doing online, but they haven't branched out into the in-person yet. They've done in-person, but they haven't done the vendor show because they're petrified of those crowds or whatever. Being committed means you are willing to try everything possible to make this business successful. Not once, not twice, 3+ times, right? I've done hostess parties in the beginning that had 0 sales. I've now had hostess parties with over $1,000 of sales, and I run mine online. So, right? That's $1,000 in sales. I made $500 that week on top of my job, right? That's because I was willing to keep going. So leave that comfort zone and just be willing to fail and fail forward and again and again and again, right? Sometimes I run sneak peeks with my team and we get 10 recruits. Sometimes I run them and we're lucky to get 1, right? It just happens, but stay consistent, stay in the weeds, keep doing it, asking yourself, what did I do and how can I do it better? Do your best until you know better and then do better. I know that's a favorite quote around our team, so do that as well. And know when you haven't tried, I like this one a lot, versus you can't do more. So I've definitely reached points in this business where I have literally said to myself, I couldn't do more if I tried. Like I worked really hard. I did everything I thought was right. I put the best strategy forward, and I wish I was able to do whatever that girl had done. Like she implemented a really good idea and her team's doing something, but I literally could not have done more as a gloss boss and as an entrepreneur of my own business. I couldn't have done more. But then there are times, maybe like last week or the week before that, where I didn't really try. I didn't try too much. If I had asked myself, could you have done any more? The answer would have been yes. So I ask you guys to give yourself a gut check from time to time and see where you are on that scale of, am I really trying or am I trying? And then you're going to grant yourself some grace. When you're really trying, there's nothing more you can do. Hold on, Blingsley one's in now. Come on, baby. Do you want to come up? You want to come see the girls? You want to come see the girls? Come here. Come here. No, he's giving me the snaggle tooth. All right, so just a few more because I know I'm out of time here. So I think I had mentioned your only competition is yourself. Go back to the basics. Ask yourself why you're here, right? And are you interested or committed? If you are interested, I don't want to offend anyone. I take this stuff really seriously, and I love this business, and I think everyone should do this business because it teaches you so much about yourself. It's not all about the money. It's about who you become in the process, and I think you're selling yourself short if you stop, if you don't do it, if you don't get out of that comfort zone. I've seen people grow so much who said I will never go live and 2 or 3 weeks later they're going live on their personal page sharing their story. And it's just amazing when you're supported by all these women, what you can truly achieve when they're supporting you and pushing you to leave your comfort zone. It's mind-blowing, and I know it's not for everyone, and that is totally okay. No shame, totally. I'm not going to push on anyone, but I really, really, really strongly urge you to push harder, to give it another try, to not give up. Your only competition is yourself, so set expectations. If you say, I'm going to sell $100 this month, that's great. Next month, I'm going to sell $200, right? Set expectations with yourself. There's no one else you need to beat in this business. And also, my favorite quote ever is grant yourself some grace. If you started, but then you faltered and went back into interested phase and you keep going back, that's okay. This business doesn't just start once and then you can't come back. You can make mistakes in this business and continue, right? You're not defined by what you did last week, last month, last year. Continue to evolve. Grant yourself some grace when you make mistakes, or write someone off, or whatever it may be. Grant yourself grace in life and in this business. That's one of my favorite quotes, is knowing that you did your best at the time, which might have been fear, might have been, lots of things, but continue to do better. And my favorite thing to look back and assess my business or my efforts, or there are days, never thought about quitting, but I've definitely thought about scaling myself back, maybe taking back my goals for my business or where I saw this going. And then I ask myself this question, which I really want you to write down, because I want you guys to ask yourselves this question, is what is the pain I will continue to experience if I quit or stop showing up? One more time. What is the pain I will continue to experience if I quit or stop showing up in my business? Basically, that's such a profound thought. It was from someone who was at not Leaders, but Pit Stop, who spoke. And basically that makes you say, that thing that you told yourself that you wanted to achieve or do according to your why, just imagine experiencing that pain or those emotions forever. Right? This is your way out, whatever it is. This is your way to get what you want. This business is the avenue that can get you there. Yeah, of course, it's up to you, and it's going to require sacrifice and hard work and lots of things. Lots of fun, lots of lipstick, lots of makeup, lots of looking younger today than you were yesterday, right? There's lots of many great things that come along with this business, friendships, trips, all kinds of stuff. But if you don't do the work, if you don't show up every single day, even 10 minutes a day, what is the pain you're going to feel? And only you can define that for yourself and get real with yourself. That's totally up to you, but that's a good gut check I like to give myself when I start to dumb down my thoughts or my goals, or how hard I'm willing to work. That right there makes me get a glass of wine and send some messages about the business opportunity. Right, you guys? All right, I hope that helped. I think I answered the questions that everyone had on here. It's not letting me, oh, there we go. It's letting me scroll back now. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will read them, and I will answer them. And I'm gonna try to look them up on my computer. Here we go, so I can just see them faster. Yes, planners. The planner is the Day Designer. And I think it's on sale for next year already. Oh boy. Oh, Chelsea, you had asked, what do I do during those basically my power hours when I wake up? It really depends on what phase of my business I'm in. If I'm in a retail mode, I basically run my business in 2 phases of the month, because I can only wear one hat because I have so much going on. I'm either in retail mode, which I run in the beginning of the month, basically I've like 1 to 2 weeks of focusing on retail, because if you didn't know, if you have the Senecar, you need to order 750 PV minimum every single month. So I have a minimum of selling $1,500 of product every single month, because I have to order it, which means I got to sell it. So I go into retail mode in those first few weeks. So if I'm in retail mode, I might be reading the product knowledge guide, writing down scripts for some videos to do in my shop. I might be making I truthfully don't spend a lot of time making graphics, because with the Scenegraphics group and all of our shops and stuff, there's no reason you should be really spending time on anything that's a graphic that's not of your face. A selfie with a color and just write it on it. But I'll probably be focusing more around my post around the retail stuff. And then the rest of the month I focus on either recruiting, which I did in the beginning. I do also focus on a lot of team development, because I have a team of over 150 girls. So I kind of have to focus on that. So I focus on a lot of creating content. That's a big one of mine for launch parties, certain things like that. And then when I go into the recruiting phase, I'm working on making business opportunity posts, coming up with ideas to go live on my personal page or in my shop, right? So I have 2 different mindsets, so I'll be working on that kind of stuff. Do you ever feel like your personal sales fall behind because you are trying to work other areas? Yeah, like that. That's what I just told you. Absolutely. But I prioritize my retail sales for the beginning of the month, and then make sure I hit them, if not close to them. So right now, this month, I'm at 1,300. So those 200 will happen organically for the next 2 weeks, because I have 2 hostess parties next week. So I basically front load my product ordering, and I front load my retail focus. How do you approach people for joining? Like, I think you would be amazing, or do you wait for them to approach you? Oh God, no. Girl, it is your job to approach them. Oh my gosh, no. Do not wait for anyone to approach you. I mean, if they do, awesome, but you should be approaching them, because guess what? If you're not approaching them, someone else is. I've lost recruits out of that. Yeah, I may be a rock star and I take this business very seriously, but that didn't stop them from signing up with people who don't take this business seriously, and then of course coming to me for mentorship. But no, I've lost people because, yes, they might have been my customer, they bought lipstick from me, but they signed up with someone else because that girl asked them. So do not wait. Take it from me. Of course, we have scripts, just send them, right? How you send it, I tell my team, you send that message with an open heart and a willingness to help them in some way, shape, or form. However they take that message is totally up to them. You know, they can say yes, they can say no, they can give you crickets, but that's not up to you to decide. It is up to you to present this business to as many people as possible. All right, how often do you post to your personal page? Lauren, are you asking how much do I post to my personal page about the business, or about our products, or just in general, how much do I post on my personal page? So I'll answer them all. I post on my personal page 2 times a day. Recently I've had long work days, so I'm lucky if it's 1. I keep my stuff there. But 1 to 2 times about the business. I make my posts count when it comes to the business. I know some people post about it every single day. I think it also depends on how much is this business part of your life. Like, there are some people, this is their full-time job on our team, so you go to their page and it's like 90% about this business. But that's fine, because this is probably like 90% of who they are, right? This makes up a lot of their life, where, like I've mentioned, this isn't. So I try to balance it out with everything else about my life. I post about wine, about the restaurants that we eat at. I post about my dog, and then I'll post about the business, right? So it's probably once or twice a week. There's a lot of hinting in it, right? So I might post a selfie tonight saying that I was doing a team call for someone. That's not a business opportunity post, but it's giving hints about the business, right? So there's a difference between a business opportunity post, which are the ones that give you like the long, detailed, like why you're in this business and all the like really in-depth stuff, or like these are the results. Those I post about once a week. The other little hints are basically throughout my business. You know, I take a lot of selfies at my desk, or when I'm working my business, or headphones on the go. So there's a lot of basically storytelling that goes in that. When someone shows a lot of interest in being a distributor but puts it off, do you continue to touch base with them? Or do you just get them to a point where you've done what you can do? And I'll read the rest. Or do you just get to a point where you've done what you can and let them come to you when they're ready? So yes, I think you're answering that question for yourself, right? So when someone shows interest in being distributed, of course, I tag them in the file that we have and give them all the information. Most people say, like, I'll join the sneak peek, I follow up, and they just kind of crickety. So I basically get people into 2, 3, 4 sneak peeks, as long as they're coming back to me with like some interest or questions, they just haven't pulled the trigger yet. If I'm constantly following up with someone, they say, yeah, add me, or they don't even give me that, I mean, eventually I let them kind of go away, right? I mean, not go away, but they're still in my shop. They still see my post, but I'm not proactively hunting them down. And then, you know, every 6 months or so, I always think it's smart to touch base with everybody, even 4 months, because a lot changes in your life. Like, let's be real. From now to 4 months, it's going to be a whole new year. A lot's going to change in someone's life. So do I think anyone who's shown interest in the business prior to this, should you follow up with them probably in October when they're thinking of they want to afford holidays and stuff like that, or after the holiday rush? Should you follow up with people in January? Yeah, you actually should, even those ones who went crickets on you, because you just never know. I'd rather annoy someone with a message than miss out on changing someone's life with the business opportunity, right? For sure. Alrighty. Any last minute questions? Because I know you guys just want to go work now. Me too. Feel free, for those who aren't watching right now, feel free to comment on this live video, and then I can answer the questions for you later on. I'm more than happy to help out and answer any questions. You can also find me on Facebook, Brittany Baumgartner, N-E-Y, not A-N-Y. And I'll go grab the little monster so everyone can see him. He was sleeping. Here's my little man. Huh, Bingy. Say hi. You little man. He looks so homeless. He gets groomed this weekend. But yes, feel free. You are so welcome, you guys. I'm happy to do this for you. I know everyone has a different perspective on the business and how they run it, so I don't think you can ever have too much information. Will you say hi, girls? Oh, you're so handsome. I always said, if I told my boyfriend that he was as cute as my dog, he would think he was Tom Brady or something, because I tell Blinksley he's cute probably like 2,000 times a day. And I give him like 14,000 kisses. He is not feeling this live video tonight. All right, you guys, thank you so much for having me. It has been a blast. Keep the questions coming. More than happy to help. And I am sure I will see you at a Senegence event sometime soon. Please come up and say hi too. All right? All right, you guys, have a great night.